This is Action Movies for Dummies, and today we are going over Broken Arrow 1996. This is a wackadoo of a movie. You're going to hear me say that through the entire thing. The man who picked this wackadoo movie, Shakes.
Just a wackadoo guy. Hey, everybody. It's your old pal Shakes. Um, yeah, so I actually reached out to friends and family and asked them, give me some of your top favorite action movies. And for some reason, this one showed up on more lists than I was even ready for. I was like, really?
That's very surprising.
Really? I agree. I mean, it came out in 1996. There's no other movie that you can possibly compare it to. It was directed by, I mean, it was one of a kind. I mean,
Yeah, no, it really was.
like since then, before then, no one's ever tried
Attempted it.
to
Yeah.
tackle this. It was directed by John Woo, amazing action director. This was actually his second American movie
Oh,
that he made, starring John Travolta, Christian Slater. I mean, you got big names in this.
yeah.
And it took $50 million to make it, and it grossed $150.2 million.
Whoa.
It sat at number one for 2 weeks in the box office, which
How?
is I'm not I I'm not sure. Um, and I'm gonna give a shout out to one. There were a bunch of names in it, like Red from That 70s Show. Yeah, he's in it. I mean, there's a lot of big names, but you'd have to go back to 96 to really recognize them, and I doubt many people could throw out their names.
Right.
Um, so I didn't bother writing them down, except for one guy, fucking Howie Long.
Oh,
Howie Long is in this movie. It's his first movie ever, and yeah, he did pretty good.
he did
I'm
good, but that head is square as shit, man.
Yeah, well, he was a football player, played for the Raiders, did 13 seasons, um, won a lot of awards during his time. I mean, the guy was a great football player.
He looks every bit of it in this movie too. He's still got that
Oh,
football figure to him.
um, he did really well. Actually, he might have acted better than some of the main characters.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. This
woo,
movie is all right, first impressions.
yeah. Um, well, as I just brought up, the acting is not great. The action's pretty cool. Uh, the movie is definitely dated. Uh, but it was fun. It was a good ride.
Mm.
How
Yeah,
about you?
I didn't know this movie going in, so I kind of went in blind and a
Oh,
few minutes in,
this was your first time watching?
this was my first time watching it when we went to review it. Yes. I went into it
Congratulations,
blind.
and I'm sorry.
Man, couple minutes in, I was like, "Oh, this is the kind of movie it's gonna be."
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah, yeah.
So, are you ready to dive in, my friend?
I am.
We got a full review here of this wackadoo psycho thriller.
Yeah.
All right. So the movie opens up to Vic and Riley, John Travolta and Christian Slater. They are boxing, and Vic is beating the hell out of Riley. He's trying to teach him as he goes along. He says, "You look one way and you do another thing the other way, and it's called a rope a dope." But Riley then gets knocked down.
Oh,
Riley then Riley then tries to trick Vic by feinting a low kick, but it doesn't really help because Vic then lands a nasty ass uppercut that stops the fight, and Riley gets knocked on his ass once again.
yes.
Scene then cuts to Vic and Riley in the locker room. They're putting on their military uniforms. Riley gives Vic $20 because he says, "Hey, you beat me. This is our gentleman's bet." Vic says, "You could have won, but you blinked. You lost your nerve." Vic says he doesn't want the money because he didn't have Riley at his best. Riley says, "Hey man, keep it. It came out of your wallet anyway." Scene then
Bazinga!
Scene then jumps to Vic and Riley meeting with General Boone, and they talk a whole bunch of military jargon here. I don't know if any of this is legit, but they go over this mission that Vic and Riley are supposed to do. It's supposed to be a stealth recon mission. They're just supposed to fly over and check some stuff, but they're going to take the B-37-19 and they're going to fly over the G239 4. I did not know why. Why
Yeah,
can't we speak English here?
yeah, I don't know why we gotta get all technical, cause there's very few people that know that jargon that are gonna be watching this movie anyway.
Exactly.
So, my whole thing is they're gonna be flying this, like, B19544, and I'm like, "Is the bigger the number, does that make the plane bigger?"
I have no idea. So they're going on a stealth recon mission. They're carrying 2 live nukes for some
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
Scene then jumps
You've
to a
never done that?
no, I've never
Oh,
I've never once
oh.
flown a stealth bomber with nukes on them. No.
Alright, well, I mean, some people are just more experienced than others, I guess.
Don't start. Scene Scene jumps to a close-up shot of this sick-ass stealth bomber. Vic and Riley load in, strap in, and off they go. Scene then jumps to a park ranger pulling up on some campers that have a little fire going. Man steps out, his wife stays in the tent, and the park ranger asks, "Did you know that having that fire is illegal?" He said, "No, I didn't know." The park ranger then asked, "Did you see any other campers in the area?" The guy says no. The park ranger then whips out a gun, kills the man. He
Mhm.
falls into the fire, and then he turns the gun and shoots up the tent and kills the wife. Holy shit. I did not expect that.
Okay, my favorite part of this was he tells the guy it's a fine for having a campfire out here,
Right.
and the guy's like, "Well, how much is the fine?" And that's when the guy kills him and then kills his wife, and I'm like,
Hefty price.
"Holy shit, that's a steep fine." Oh my god.
Whoa. Scene jumps back to Vic and Riley and the stealth bomber, and they have a small dick throwing competition about whose career is worst off right now. They get
Yeah,
into contact with Colonel Max, who's played by Delroy Lindo. He is taking control and providing support from base over comms. Vic and Riley go into stealth mode and they begin their recon mission. Scene cuts to Park Ranger Terry, played by Samantha Manthis, talking over a radio. Guy over
and
the radios.
Samantha Mathis,
Mhm.
"Hello, girl next door."
You don't get the nurse? She doesn't get the
No,
nurse?
I'm sorry, she does not. Even later on, when she has to, like, take her shirt off and there's just a tank top on, I'm like, hello, girl next door."
Guy over the radio says that a woman is called in and she's seen some suspicious trucks, but one of them was a park ranger truck and Terry was supposed to be the only one out there. So Terry then agrees to go and check it out. Scene jumps back to Vic and Riley completing their mission, and they start talking about their future. Riley says that he's in this for life. But Vic starts to express his unhappiness. He says, "Man, you know I should have been general by now. You know it, I know it. Whole group knows it. Even that
Well,
asshat that is the general now knows it.
I
Riley
mean,
doesn't.
he's kind of a dickhead, and he has been passed up on numerous promotions.
Yes. Riley doesn't believe what he's really saying. He says like having
Yeah.
being able to fly a stealth bomber, being able to have control of 2 nukes, and Vic kind of gives him a crazy look. Vic then tells Riley to look out the window. This is supposed to be over there, that's supposed to be over where. And as Riley is looking out the window, Vic goes, "Surprise, bitch," and tries to pull out a gun. Riley sees him in the reflection of the window, turns around, and a struggle begins. They are strapped into these chairs,
They are wearing seatbelts and helmets and
and
just punching the shit out of each
they
other
begin to
side
struggle.
to side.
So good.
It's
Vic
not. It's just not.
Vic lets off a shot and it grazes Riley's helmet. The stealth bomber is in autopilot. It almost crashes into a cliffside, but it pulls itself up over the rocks and it kind of throws Riley and Vic. But like I said, they're strapped into these seats and the struggle continues. The men on the ground, the ones who killed the campers, have now put up this spotlight. As Riley As they struggle, Riley then realizes that Vic is trying to drop the bombs. He tries to stop them. Scene then jumps to Terry, who doesn't see anything, but all of a sudden gets buzzed over by this stealth bomber. I don't know if they did a one take of this or what, because it scared the living shit out of her. She jumped out of her shoes when
Like
this
it,
stealth bomber buzzes over her.
well, just the the what is it? The draft that comes after the plane goes that close to the ground over you.
Mm.
I think the sheer wind knocked her on her ass.
Scene jumps back to Vic and Riley, and they're still fighting in this seated, locked in position. Riley goes for the gun and tries to shoot Vic, but Vic then pulls his ejector seat lever. They lock eyes, and Riley shoots off into the sky.
He
Terry
gets
sees him as he's ejected, his parachute's coming out, so she decides to go and investigate. Vic then drops the bombs, goes back onto radar, and then he radios in to base, telling them that Riley's lost it and that he needs to eject. And he does. And when he ejects, the stealth bomber then crashes into a cliffside. Scene that Scene jumps to a very important meeting being led by Red Foreman, where they discuss where they discuss on how they will address the public. But there's one guy in the room, Giles, who believes that they should just address the public with the truth. They all agree. Then
oh,
Red Foreman,
but the
mhm,
military guys all hate him. He's like this long-haired, scrawny, nerdy guy, and like everybody's sitting around this big round table, just old ass military dudes. Just
yeah, yeah,
and
the
you can
medals
and
all over their chest and shit.
right, and
Yeah.
they're just looking at him like scorning him, and he's sitting there with his little suit on, and it, it made me laugh. I was like, oh, oh.
Red Foreman then sends Giles to Utah to keep an eye on what happened with this now crashed stealth bomber that had nukes on it and potentially dead pilots now. Scene jumps to a chopper with military men arriving at the chopper site. They're searching for survivors, but they don't see any, and they discover that the nukes are gone. Scene cuts to Giles on a plane being informed by Red that they are dealing with a broken arrow.
There it is.
I, th-
Anytime you use the actual movie title in the dialogue of the movie, from here on out, you have to say, "There it is."
He said the line.
And I would like it if all our listeners could do the same thing. Yes, I stole it from Family Guy.
And what I found funny about this scene is Giles is not in this realm, okay?
Oh,
He does
no.
not work in this area. So when he tells him that they're dealing with a broken arrow, he goes, "What's a broken arrow?" And he says, "It's when we have a loss of nuclear warheads." And Giles goes, "I don't know what's scarier, that the situation is happening or that it's happened so many times that we have a name for it."
Exactly.
And I thought to myself, dude, you are so fucking right.
Like, I didn't even look it up. I wonder if that's, like, a real thing or if they made it up for the movie, but something tells me that's probably a real thing.
Maybe not broken arrow, but definitely a code
There
word for
yeah,
lost nuclear warheads. I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, you are so fucking right. Like, it happens so often that we have a name for it now.
that's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Scene cuts to Riley on a cliffside. Terry finds him. She tries to detain him by pointing her gun. He rushes her and knocks the gun out of her hand and throws himself off the cliffside, going after the gun, trying to get away. Terry throws herself off the cliffside, chasing after him. Riley gets to the gun and points it at her, but Terry jumps up and puts a knife to his neck. They have a little stare down. Terry tells Riley that she does not keep the gun loaded. He looks at the gun. She takes this opportunity to kick him in the kneecap. When he falls to the ground, he drops the gun. She snatches up the gun, hovers over him, and points down. He says, "I thought you didn't have any ammo in the gun," and she lets off a round.
Yup. Now, I'm gonna go back a minute.
Yeah,
One of the things I found hilarious in this is he's been in a stealth bomber. He got ejected in the middle of the night, so he has no control over what's going on.
right.
So when she finds him, he's unconscious on the ground. The wind is blowing his parachute,
Uh,
dragging him little by little across the desert, and he just has this little dot of blood in the corner of his mouth.
she goes to arrest she goes to arrest Riley, but he kicks her and takes the gun from her once again. gets uh gets behind her and puts the gun to her head. Says that he could have killed her if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to because he needs her help. Scene jumps to the military searching for the nukes. They have this little radiation signal gun.
Yeah, they're using radiation as GPS. Like, they didn't have GPS. Like, yeah, they're actually like, "Oh, well, the radiation is over here. Let's get closer."
After the chopper lands, the military go on search for the nuke. Two men stay back with the chopper. A truck appears with two men. One hop out and ask if they need help. The men with the chopper say to move along and they flash their guns. The man then plays as if he has to tie his shoe and bends down. The one who's still in the truck then opens fire and kills the two men with the chopper. Another truck pulls up with more men in it. We then see Vic join them. The guy says maybe Vic died, and Vic walking up, John Travolta walking up. Well, that was kind of mean. I will say, John Travolta playing the bad guy is always so good to me because he's always a little asshole.
Okay, so it's a good action movie is only as good as your villain is bad.
Ooh.
And I always thought that was pretty good. I mean, if you think of like classic action movies, but if your bad guy sucks, th- doesn't matter how much planning you put into the movie, no matter how much action you put into the movie, how cool it looks. If your bad guy's lackluster, then what's the point?
Right.
And I think it kills the movie. And I think even with the bad acting, John Travolta's character was bad. He
Yeah.
was a bad
He was a little
guy.
asshole,
He was
dude.
a dick.
Scene then jumps to the military finding one of the nukes. Scene jumps back to Vic arguing with one of the men who paid him. He says that he's seen Riley eject from the stealth bomber and he's worried that he's alive. Vic says, I don't think he's alive. But one of the henchmen overheard the park ranger radio in saying that she was going to go look for Riley. Vic isn't too pleased about this and says to go and find her. Scene jumps to the military now finding the second nuke. They try to radio into base, but Vic hears them and jams the communications. A henchman then opens up fire from a cliffside on the military that's in this canyon. He kills 3 of the men, but 2 dive into cover. One pulls out a handgun and from at least 300 feet away,
Yeah. Yeah.
wings this guy with like 2 bullets. How? How did he have such perfect aim?
You're in the desert. There's going to be wind. There's no trees, man. There's nothing to.
The guy who just now winged the henchman is trying to destroy the nuke, but he gets double crossed by one of his squad mates. And
There's so much betrayal in this movie. So much betrayal.
when the squad mate says, I can't let you do this, I go, that's fucking Howie Long.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't mistake it.
I seen the top of his head through the helmet. That was the first showing of Howie Long.
In any movie ever.
Scene cuts to Riley and Terry still making their way to her truck because she said, yeah, my truck is right over here. And it took 5 scenes to get there.
It was like she said, it's just around the bend. And she found him in the morning and they get to the truck at night.
Scene jumps back to Howie now sending a fake message to the base. He says that the nuclear core is open and everybody's dead, and he makes this sounding as if he's dying on the mic. Colonel Max gets nervous and starts to call for extra help. Scene jumps back to Vic and Howie and the rest of the men starting to recover the nukes. He reassures the man that paid him that they're going to be long gone. The reason he says this is because he says they say that there's a nuclear core open. They can't just come out here. Now they have to send a special unit. That's going to take an hour to get ready and then an hour to get out here. Once they get out here and realize that there's nothing going on, then they're going to send other people out here, and that's going to take about 2 hours. So by the time we get our stuff together, we will be long gone.
It's pretty damn clever.
He definitely thought it out.
It's pretty damn clever.
Scene cuts to Riley and Terry finally reaching her truck, and she tries to radio, but she can't because the comms are jammed. And Riley somehow has this spidey super
Premonition?
sense. Yeah, and rips Terry out of her truck before a chopper shoots over the cliffside and unloads miniguns and blows the truck up.
It just all of a sudden appears behind a mountain. It just starts firing straight into the truck. And he's looking around like, I think I hear something in this lonely and vast desert. What could it possibly be?
The chopper then begins firing at them and forcing them to run and jump off of a cliff into another canyon. The chopper goes to make a pass and unload the miniguns. Riley then dives onto his back and fires Terry's six-shooter at this chopper. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is this six-shooter gonna do? I was clearly wrong, because as they're hiding in this canyon, Terry and Riley come up with a plan. Terry climbs the canyon and is now on the cliff and draws the attention of the chopper, while
She's
Riley lines up a shot perfectly on the pilot and fires and kills him with this six shooter. How the hell did he do this?
right. I just like the fact that he used her as bait.
No,
That
she
shows.
volunteered herself
Yeah,
as bait.
yeah. Well, yeah. eh. You know, I've never actually known a park ranger, but I don't know if they're that devoted.
I
And
don't
any
think
park
so.
rangers out there, I'm sorry, I don't know. So wait, let me rephrase. If we could get some comments from some park rangers, would you do this? Would you use yourself as bait against the helicopter in a desert with
Okay.
Christian Slater?
From a distance, he shoots his pilot, kills the pilot. The chopper then goes nose down into the cliff, but does not explode. I thought that was hilarious, because normally they just hit and explode. This one hit, did not explode, flips over, and the blade is going to come down and chop Terry in half, but
Yeah.
Riley snatches her off the cliff before it happens, and then the chopper
Then
explodes.
then it explodes. Like, there's so much destruction in this thing. Like when the stealth bomber crashes into the ground, it's so bad. The fact that it's in slow motion, you're supposed to believe it. The helicopter coming down, also in slow motion. But it's 96.
Right,
So that's the norm.
right. Scene then jumps to Vic and his men, and they see the explosion. The man who is paying freaks out a little bit, tells Vic that he's losing faith in him. Vic gets a little offended, says that he's going to deliver the weapons, but he cannot promise that the White House will pay. And if they don't pay, then he'll just set off the nukes. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, their whole plan is they're stealing the nuclear weapons from the US so they could sell it back.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is the play.
it's a pretty good idea. I mean, what are you
Scene,
gonna do? Not pay?
uh,
Nah, you can keep it.
Scene jumps to Giles on the phone with Colonel Max, and they're talking about how there's no levels of radiation. Giles then comes up with the theory that it wasn't an accident and that Riley's actually been trying to steal these nukes. Red Foreman then gets a phone call from the president, and he asks one of the military men, do the pilots have the codes to the nukes? And the man does not answer. So that means yes,
Yeah.
they have the codes. Scene jumps to Riley and Terry, and she is pissed and wants to know what the hell is going on. Riley then explains that they were on a stealth mission and they were carrying nukes. Vic lost his mind and is now trying to steal them. Terry says that they got a call about a bunch of trucks coming in, and that's how they're going to be moving the nukes. And the quickest way is through the river. Scene then jumps to Vic and his men driving along, and Riley and Terry see them from a cliff. They start to come up with a plan. Riley says hey, go get a phone, go get some help. I'm going after Vic and those nukes. But Terry decides to follow anyway. The both of them end up on the lead truck that has the nukes. Vic and Howie Long are driving behind them. The driver of the truck then starts shooting. Riley tumbles off the top of the truck into now the bed of the truck, and the bed of the truck has this tarp that now rips him out of the bed of the truck, and he's holding on to this tarp being dragged along.
Yeah, it's just like an old Western movie where the horses are running and you grab onto the back of the carriage and it rips off and you're just being dragged. And you got to do it one-handed, climb your way back up.
The tarp then falls off, and Riley has to begin running with Vic and Howie chasing behind. And
Right.
Vic goes, get him, get him. Terry then tosses her gun at Riley, and he dives towards it into the bed of the truck.
Yes, he did.
Just getting away from Howie Long ramming the back of the truck.
He actually ran towards a speeding truck, was able to jump into the back of it, and grab a gun at the same time. Amazing. How?
He then rolls over and starts to fire at Vic, but the glass in the truck is bulletproof. Riley then climbs to the front of the truck, shoots the driver in the leg, and tosses him out, takes control of the truck.
You know what? You know what got me with this scene?
Mhm.
John Travolta knows it's bulletproof. And he has a man shooting at him in the face. And he never flinches.
Didn't blink. Yeah, I
No.
thought that was badass.
I thought that was so good.
Terry climbs in the truck and starts to drive. Howie then begins to fire at them, hitting the gas tank and causing a leak. But Vic then reminds him to stop shooting at the truck because there is a nuke on the truck.
Would you mind not shooting at the thermonuclear weapon? What a great line.
While being chased, Riley finds a pass to a hospital. Howie rams them, and Terry realizes that they're losing gas. She then says that she has a place to hide these nukes. Riley then climbs into the bed of the truck. He straps a flare to a gas can and throws it at Vic's truck, causing this huge explosion, letting Terry and Riley get away.
My redneck ass would have been like, all I need is a flare, some duct tape, and a gallon of gasoline. I'll get us out of this. No problem.
And man, he MacGyvered that shit super quick.
He did.
And then lit the flare, tossed it, get the hell out of here.
My other issue with this was, she's like, we're running out of gas. And he just takes a whole container of gas and explodes it. I'm like, you needed that, bruh.
Holy shit. I didn't even notice that.
I'm like, what are you doing, man? There's got to be another way.
They arrive at an old copper mine where they plan to stash the nukes. Riley realizes that the locks on this place are new. Riley walks in front of the truck as Terry backs it in. They realize that Vic actually has prepped this mine. So he was actually going to bring these nukes here anyway. Riley then begins to disable one of them. But before he can, Vic radios. Riley tells him that he's disabling the nukes and that he should just turn around, game over. But Vic has already thought of that, and as Riley puts in the code, the nuke is now armed. Riley then comes up with a plan to take the nukes deeper into the mine. Terry starts to get cold feet, but then decides to help.
Okay. Uh, maybe not everyone will agree with me on this. Nuclear weapons don't have timers. That's not how it works. None of them. Thank you. That is all.
Did you get it out, buddy?
It's so hard for me to wrap my head around the concept that you have nuclear weapons with timers. This is not how it works.
Yeah, then on an elevator and lower it down deeper into the mine. Vic and his men arrive fully armed. They see that they went deeper into the mine and go after him. Jumps to base with Giles arriving, and the colonel informs him that he was right. We are dealing with a broken arrow.
Hey, MJ.
Yo.
There it is.
There it is. But it was actually Vic, not Riley, trying to steal these nukes. Scene then jumps to the mine, and Vic and his men have now reached the bottom. Riley and Terry plant the nukes and try to escape. One henchman sees them and starts to fire. Then Vic stops him and reminds him to not shoot at the fucking nuke.
Thermonuclear.
Like, goddamn, how many times did he have to remind these men to not shoot at a fucking nuke? Stop shooting at the fucking nuke.
He's a football player. He doesn't know any better. And to all you football players out there, I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm sorry. Unless you play for Philly.
Oh, man. Riley now has his gun and Terry's gun, and he tries to get across the room, but a henchman then opens up. He returns fire, but grabs Terry and decides to go the other way. Vic sends one of his men after Riley and Terry, and then shortens the timer on the nuke from 25 minutes to 13 minutes.
He's an evil genius.
What a little asshole. What a little asshole.
He's an evil genius. He just upped the time frame. Are you kidding me? Great villain. Great villain.
Riley and Terry make for an escape, but Vic catches up to them and starts to open fire. Riley fires back, but misses. While they're in cover, they kind of taunt each other for a little bit, and Vic now informs him that he's cut the timer down 13 minutes. Ha 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 ha. Riley dives out of cover to try and get closer to Vic. Vic shoots. Riley dives into cover. Riley returns fire to Vic.
Yeah,
Vic
with
dives.
his machine gun in one hand.
Vic dives for cover. Riley then scans for Vic, but there's no trace. A henchman then comes up slowly behind Terry. She hides for a second and then pops out and attacks him from behind. As they struggle for a little bit, he kicks her off. As he goes to kill Terry, Riley then appears with both guns and unloads them, but the man still somehow gets away. Riley then catches up with Vic and his men, and a small shootout begins. One of the henchmen has a grenade and charges at Riley. Riley dives and slides underneath him. As he's laying underneath this henchman with a grenade, another henchman shoots that henchman, and the henchman with the grenade drops the grenade. Riley catches the grenade and throws it at the henchman with the gun and blows him up. What the fuck am I watching?
Oh, come on. If that shit played out in real life, you'd be like, holy shit.
What the fuck am I watching right now, yo?
That was the best thing I've ever seen. Oh. Meanwhile, this whole time, this bullshit timer is going off so slow on this thermonuclear weapon.
We were in the mine scene for at least 30 minutes.
Oh my god. It was set for 13.
25, then 13.
It
Like,
doesn't
come on.
matter. It doesn't matter at this point.
A piece of the tunnel collapses, and Riley and Vic are separated, but they begin to talk. Riley says he's seen the tag from the hospital and that he's going to try and sneak the nukes into this hospital radiation department so that he can hide the signal. Vic says, man, it's all about the money, but Riley doesn't believe him. He's told him that he's lost his fucking mind, and Vic gets a little pissed, blind fires into the cave and runs off. The nuke has now counted down to 6 minutes left. There's your timer, see? Look.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes.
From
Come
13 to
on.
6.
Yeah.
See?
We've been
Time
watching this.
elapsed.
Come on. We can't even talk about what they did faster than what they did.
Vic makes it to his men, and they make their escape with now the unarmed nuke, because don't forget there was 2. Terry and Riley make their way to the elevator as well, but Howie Long then drops 2 grenades down the elevator, causing Riley and Terry to run back and dive away from the explosion. Vic and his men get away with the nuke. Riley and Terry are trapped in this mine with the nuke, and they believe that they're going to die. Terry then remembers why the mine was shut down. They actually hit a river that led out to a waterfall. She leads Riley over to this damaged area. They fall in, and out they go. As Vic and his men get away, a chopper hovers over with guns pointed. The man who's paying Vic starts to freak out, so Vic then chops him in the throat with a pipe and kills him.
Yes.
The chopper gets in front of Vic's truck. Howie goes to shoot at this chopper, but Vic stops him. Riley and Terry now escape out of this mine through a waterfall. As the chopper hovers over Vic's truck, the nuke goes off in the mine and it dents the earth. You know how I am about visuals? That was cool as shit.
That was a great scene.
It was so cool.
It's like watching a wave go over the water, but it was on sand.
It was
I mean,
in ground. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the impact scene was really well done.
And it shows like the earth normal, it lifts up and then it sinks in. It's such a good shot. It's so good, causing a massive earthquake that could be felt by the people at base. And it also had an EMP inside of it, so it causes the chopper to bug out and then crash. And then Vic goes, "Ah, goddamn, what a rush." I thought that was funny as shit.
Okay, so something I've discovered since watching that scene, because he says, "I said, goddamn."
Yeah.
I was like, I know that line. And Uma Thurman says that line in Pulp Fiction, which John Travolta was in a year before. I don't know when they were recorded, but they were released a year apart. And at the end of every scene that Quentin Tarantino did that went really well, he would say, "Well, I said, goddamn."
Oh, wow.
And Uma Thurman, this wasn't in the script. When she snorted the cocaine, she leaned back and said, "I said, goddamn," as a joke to Quentin Tarantino. So it became this like secret joke between them, which got leaked out into the world.
Vic tells him how there's an EMP and everything within 10 miles is down, pushes the dead man out of the vehicle, and moves on. Scene cuts to Red Foreman in the meeting room, preparing to lie and say that it was an earthquake. They are not going to admit that that was a nuclear explosion. They are going to say that was a fucking earthquake, and you better believe it. Scene jumps to Terry and Riley at the river. Terry starts to freak out a little bit, but Riley calms her down. They start to make their way up the river to cut off Vic. They see these two men and a boat. Vic tells them that everything is fine, but takes a second. When everybody walks away, he stops and looks around. He can sense Riley's presence. Riley and Terry then make their way to the boat and plan to steal it, but Vic and his men come back just a bit too fast. Riley tells Terry to get out of the boat and dives into the water, but instead she falls back into the boat and covers herself in this tarp.
Smart. Good plan.
Now,
Good plan.
Terry is now on the boat with Vic and Howie Long and two other men and the nuke.
Yeah.
Riley makes his way to shore. Scene jumps to Red Foreman and the men in the meeting room watching the demand tape of Vic. He says he wants $250 million. So if you ever wondered how much a nuke costs, there you go. And if they don't pay, he's going to set them off.
Yeah.
The
Well, that's
military.
probably the price in '96. I think maybe I would bet it's gone up just a little bit.
And in this scene also, they get a phone call because the military somehow found Riley. I don't know how, but they get a phone call and they said, we found him by the river. Scene jumps to Terry, now on land, and a truck is approaching. She hides, she waits for it to pass, she runs, and she jumps on the back of it. Scene then jumps to Riley back with the military and is worried about Terry, and he wants to go after her and the nuke. The colonel says he's supposed to bring Riley back to the base, but he's going against orders.
Do you know what the orders are? I'm about to break them.
Yeah, he literally says that. You know what orders are?
I know.
I'm about to break them. Oh my, I was cheesy as shit. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I loved it.
Riley believes that Vic is actually going to move the nukes by train, and that he believes that the hospital tag was planted there to throw them off, and that he's actually heading towards Denver.
Do you know what they call that? A rope-a-dope.
He then explains the rope-a-dope in that scene.
What?
Scene jumps back to Vic on a train with the nuke and his men. One of the men gives Vic a remote for the nuke, so now he has a remote control for the nuke. That's not how nukes work.
They don't work like that.
On this train, there is a chopper. Terry is also on the train. Yeah, so that confused me. I don't know how she went from the boat to land, from land to this truck, from truck to this train, all unseen.
She's a ranger, man. She can do anything.
Oh, don't suck up to that community now.
Oh, no. Shut up.
She finds her way to this car with the nuke on it and the henchman. She then finds a hammer and rushes the henchman, but he counters her and throws her on the ground. But Terry, not being a pushover, starts to fight back a bit, but the guy knocks her down once again. He goes to talk shit, but she picks up the hammer and throws it into his face. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Like into his face.
Yeah.
Terry then picks up his gun and puts it on her back, and she goes for the nuke. Vic then gets behind her and puts a gun to her head. Scene then jumps to a chopper flying full
Chopper.
speed. There's a lot of jump cuts in this movie. I hate
Yeah.
it.
There's a lot going on, though.
You're right. A lot going on in different locations. Scene cuts back to Vic and Terry, and Vic is trying to force Terry to arm the nuke, like put the code in herself, which, once again, the bad guy is awesome in this. Like, what an asshole move.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Scene then jumps to the meeting room with Red Foreman, where a man is going over how bad it is if the nuke actually goes off. He said, upon impact, there will be 250,000 dead. After that, 250,000 within a year from the radiation, and the land would be unlivable for many, many, many years after that.
Yeah, it's like thousands of years.
Yeah. Scene jumps back to Vic, still trying to make Terry arm this bomb, but she then deactivates it instead and says she's gonna die either way, so do it yourself, asshole. I was like, kick ass.
Yeah.
Kick
That's
ass,
how-
Terry, yeah.
You know why she said that? Because that's what Rangers do.
Oh. Vic then threatens to throw her off the train. As the train door swings open, because Howie Long no clips in here because he wasn't on this car, but he somehow appeared when they needed the door opened. And as he opens the door, the chopper is right along the side of the train, guns pointed. Vic and Riley lock eyes. Terry then breaks free and falls out of the train, but is holding on to the side of it, swinging wildly. Howie fires at the chopper and a shootout begins. Riley wings Vic as Howie lays down cover so Vic can shut the door. From the chopper, Riley dives onto the train and goes to pull up a still hanging Terry. As he pulls her up, the henchman tries to creep up behind her, but the colonel is covering him from the chopper. Vic and Howie then fire where Terry was hanging, but Riley's pulled her up in time, and two more henchmen appear and begin to fire, and Riley returns fire. Vic takes time to now arm the nuke.
Yeah.
The chopper then cuts one of the henchmen in half with the chopper blade. What the? I'm thinking to myself.
He called it, let's give him a haircut.
He said, let's give him a haircut. And he cuts a man in half with a chopper blade.
Yes, he uses the helicopter.
What am I watching,
He uses the
dude?
helicopter as a weapon. Oh my God.
Terry and Riley are now at the end of this train, and this henchman cuts them off. As they seem to give up, Terry shows Riley that she has a gun hidden on her. As he puts down his gun, he snatches the gun off of Terry's back, drops in between his leg, and kills the henchman. They make their way to the chopper that's on this train, and Riley disconnects the fuel line. Vic and Howie start shooting at the chopper with the colonel. They actually hit the colonel, and the pilot loses control, and the chopper then crashes into a tunnel entrance. A henchman cuts cuts Riley and Terry off, but Terry kicks the blade of the chopper and knocks the gun out of the henchman's hand. Riley then knocks the guy off of the train and goes over with him, but is now gripping the bottom of this train.
Yeah.
Somehow he's gripping the bottom of this speeding train.
Feet dragging on the ground.
Terry sees more henchmen coming and now joins Riley on this under part of the train. I don't know why they thought that was the smart play.
Honestly, they weren't like dragging on the ground. They both found like a little cage where they could just hide.
Yeah.
I think that
They were kind of laying there,
I was honestly like, on a train, there's not many places to hide. This is probably not a bad idea.
This is true. Vic and his men try to get to the chopper, but as the pilot goes to start the chopper up, it explodes from the fuel leak. Vic and Howie somehow live. Howie says that Vic needs to disarm the nuke, but Vic is only concerned with finding Riley. Riley and Terry come from underneath this moving train. Riley tells Terry that he's going after Vic. Scene cut to Vic going off a little bit, like he's losing his mind a little bit, and he sets the nuke for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. He's an awesome villain.
He's amazing. Howie sees this and points his gun at Vic.
He's like,
and tells him that he needs. Yeah.
Fuck no.
He's like, dude, you gotta disarm this shit,
can't
bro.
Get
Like, no.
paid if I'm dead. What?
Vic points his gun back, but they have a bit of a stare down. Riley then uses a dead body as a decoy, swings it on one side of the train, and then uses a cable to swing in the other side of the train, shotgun drop kicking Howie Long off of the train, off of a bridge, to his death.
And that is the end of his first debut as an actor.
What am I watching, Shakes? What do you have me watching, dog? Vic and Riley get into a shootout. Vic runs out of ammo, but he still has the remote to the nuke.
What a little bitch.
He's a little asshole.
He really is.
He makes Riley put down his gun so they can fist fight for the remote. They begin to fight, and of course, Vic gets the upper hand. Scene cuts to Terry still on the train, and this part confused me. She goes to disconnect the cars of the train.
Right.
But she's not disconnecting the nuke.
No.
She's not disconnecting the nuke.
Well, you don't want it just out there in the world.
So why are you disconnecting the train?
Nah, that I can't tell you.
Vic is still kicking Riley's ass when Riley lands a punch and a kick that sends Vic hanging on to the train door. Riley goes for the remote, but Vic gets back onto the train and wraps a cord around his neck and starts to strangle him. Terry then gets the cars separated and jumps back to the speeding car. So she separated the cars and then jumped onto the moving part. Vic once again gets the upper hand in this fight and Riley and throws Riley around a little bit. Scene cuts to another henchman popping out of the conductor's part of the train and starts to shoot at Terry. Terry then takes cover, but the henchman shoots a barrel of fuel. And it starts a fire.
Okay. Are you with me on this? Do we even have to talk about this? You put thermonuclear weapon on a train with a fully fueled helicopter and barrels of fuel.
Terry returns fire and kills the guy, and he falls back into the conductor's room and slams on the brakes. Vic and Riley are still fighting tooth and nail. Riley then starts to come back and get the upper hand. He knocks Vic out. He sees the other part of the train now coming at them because it's still roll. I don't know why she disconnected the trains. he
Okay, maybe
he
I hated
sees
this movie a lot more than I thought. I'm getting very emotional.
he sees the other part of the train coming, grabs the remote, dives off before it collides, and disarms the bomb. When the train crashes together, Vic stands up, open arms out, and lets the nuke hit him square in the stomach, carrying him through the train wall, and then it blows up.
The whole time he's smiling. Like that
Yeah.
made I love that. Like
Really
he
good.
knows he's dead, but he stands up and he fucking takes it with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
That's an incredible bad guy.
Terry appears out of smoke, and her and Riley somehow fall in love, and that's the end of this movie.
Yeah?
Thank God.
I mean,
Thank God.
damn, she's a park ranger. How could you not fall in love?
I,
All you park rangers out there,
you are
I love you.
sucking up today.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
no.
you are sucking up today.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
So, this movie, uh, I don't know. We're saying for 96,
uh,
it's understandable. But when we go back and look at this, none of this made any fucking sense.
the fact that they could jump onto the back of speeding trucks and trains on foot, I thought that was pretty well done.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning. I think the whole movie could have been avoided if we went on this stealth recon mission without fucking nukes.
Yeah.
All right,
And
so
don't get me started on the timers again, cause fuck all, man. That's not how it works.
well, on that note, that was Broken Arrow 1996. We are action movies for dummies.
I am Shakes. This is my buddy MJ. MJ, say something to the
sir.
crowd.
We're out of here, buddy.
All right, man.